Game number 2 between these two players for Challenger League. All right, spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the red Protoss, it is Evil Genius's Huck. He is 1 game away from moving on into Premier League for next season. But this player stands in his way. In the top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss, it is Puck. And Akalon Waste. Okay, so Belshir Vestige, I can see more of a reason to go for Colossus heavy play because of the ramps and the one-directional engagements that you have most of the time. Although I even feel like that can be mitigated a little bit. Yeah. But on Akalon Waste, I fully expect it to be more Immortal, Archon-centric. Although now that I think about it, maybe not.
I think stylistically, both these players like the Colossus style in PvP.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like it's an NA player thing. Like, I feel like in practice, just a lot of NA players do Colossi styles because we've seen Minigun. He also likes his Colossi styles.
That's true.
And Puck, they both appear to like Colossi a lot too.
We'll find out. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. I'm not a big Colossus fan in this matchup.
I'm not either, but
I just feel they're so rigid. They're so immobile in the beginning mid phases that the only real advantage that you can take is a timing. And once you realize that, your opponent realizes that, and they can just hard counter or prepare for that timing.
But some of us just love lasers, Andre. We just want to see things burn to lasers.
That's true. But Archons are kind of lasery.
No, they're not lasers.
What are they? What do you think Archons are?
They just like zap stuff with energy. They're like bazap and stuff get zapped.
It's like a Sith Lord, right? Using the lightning.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Not so much lasers. The Colossi, right. They cut things up with lasers, and it looks cool.
All right, I'll give it to you. All right, let's take a look at the build so far. They're pretty much mirrored. Cybernetics core is slightly faster for Puck over here in the top left-hand corner. He goes for a 12 gate instead. 12 gate instead of the conventional 13 gate, which Huck likes to do, and which he did this game. Stalker's being chrono boosted out so far, actually just for Huck. And he will be able to fend this off. Mothership Core is on the way. Are we going to see another cancel? That's the question. So this makes a lot of sense now. You chrono boost out the Stalker to make sure that you can get the probe out, and you could at any time not make the Mothership Core, and that gives you the ability to really play with your opponent. It's a lot of mind games that go into that.
Definitely. But it looks like they both are getting that Mothership Core. Puck going for a quick sentry afterwards. Puck making 2 Stalkers. So I think Puck's going to want to put on some kind of gateway pressure. Maybe he'll add a 3rd gateway on.
Well, 2 gateways being added on for Huck, and he's chrono boosting out the Cybernetics Core now. So we're going to see some 3-gate pressure. This is like every Chinese player that you watch. They always do this. Namely, Jim and Maxette. Those are the 2 Chinese players that I know that play Protoss. And it's funny because both these players are doing like the same runs with their Mothership Cores too.
Yeah.
But it looks like Huck needs to be careful because he's up against greater numbers pretty soon here.
Well, Puck has to be careful with his Mothership Core. Huck's doing a lot of damage to it with that Stalker. It's not going to die, but
it's doing damage.
Yeah.
Well, Huck needs to be careful because he's going to lose his
recall.
Yeah. That's a big event. That's going to be like an instant push for Puck in a little bit here. He's getting blinked, by the way. And he will be able to fend off this 3-gate pressure.
This is a good situation for Puck.
Beautiful situation, yeah.
He forced the recall at the Mothership Core, and because Huck is going through the 3 gateways with the delayed robo, the Blink Stalkers will have a bigger timing window than if he was going for maybe a 2-gate robo or a 1-gate robo.
Robotics facility is being placed down, so just playing absolutely defensive in case any Dark Templar shenanigans pop out of here. And if this blink finishes and there's still Stalkers on the map, all those Stalkers are dead, so he needs to back up from here. Although
Huck
he doesn't
knows
know
that though.
Does he?
I don't know if he knows. I don't think he knows about the blink, but I think he's too good to let that happen.
Yeah, I think so.
When he sees the one base at this point, I think he realizes that he should send his stalkers home. And yep, now he's Phoenix scouting too. So he's just playing. It's pretty smart.
Once he sees, well, the Twilight Council, he'll realize, okay, it is blink. Although the Phoenix might not even be able to get in here, but once he sees the stalker count. Oh no, even 5 stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could have that many stalkers if he's maybe worried about Oracles or something. Just 2 to defend in the main, or a couple stalkers in the natural, or whatever.
He knows it's not Dark Templars, that's for sure.
He knows it's not Dark Templar. He probably expects blink.
Yes, I mean, that's the most standard thing to see. So, yeah, he's able to deduce that this is blink, or at least have like a 95% chance that this is popping out here.
It's a good map for him to put on pressure with his blink stalkers as well. He can blink up into the main from that third base.
And I like this. He is taking out the rocks. That way he's access to this bottom ground. He can chase blink stalkers a little bit better. And he's pushing up here. Time Warp will go down, just disallowing his opponent from actually pushing all the way in. Rocks are down, so it's a very defensible position. And Observer is up here, so he can start sniping. Oh, he snipes a Mothership Core. Wow.
Nice pick off.
Yeah, I like that. Obviously disabling his opponent from taking a Photon Overcharge to protect him.
Also, it's just a nice pick off in general. It costs 100 for Mothership Core, and it's absolutely necessary to have that in your army in the mid game.
That's true.
So he's going to have to rebuild it, and he has.
Well, he's going to blink up into the main, and Huck pretty undefended. An Observer about to pop out here, and that's going to get shut down pretty quickly. Maybe not, because he's just going to target the Robo. I like this, and blink out. He is absolutely okay. So a nice little win there for Puck. In the background, income tab, he has a worker lead, 38 to 35. He has his own Robo. And he hasn't really invested too much more into this. He can still go over this angle, or this is the other angle that you have to be careful of if you're dealing with blink stalkers. Comes in over here, attacks some probes, and just blinks out. I don't think that's going to happen. Phoenix getting crushed again, or hallucinated Phoenix. So no scouting.
Yeah, he's denying all of Huck's attempts to scout his main base. Huck can kind of assume what he's doing in regards to him making a Robo. I think that's a fair assumption that Huck can make, even without seeing anything. Or that Huck, yeah, he can make.
I have no clue what you just said there.
Huck can assume that Puck has a Robo, even without scouting.
Yes. Well, you saw the Observer.
Yeah, so that's easy to assume.
Excellent. Robo Pay is going to be placed down, so we're going to see Colossus this time.
Yeah, and
not
I think
a big
we'll
surprise.
see Puck tech for Colossi as well. I think they're just both players who favor
There's
Colossi
3
tech.
extra gateways.
Well, looks like it could be a timing attack.
It could be a timing attack. It could be just 3 extra gateways, then he throws down a third base, though.
Yeah, that's true, and then he could head up for that,
for Immortal Archon.
Archon, yeah.
I mean, that'd be viable. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. And third base is going to go down for Puck.
Huck, on the other hand, he is getting blink. I'm not sure how I feel about that. If it's completely necessary.
It's just to keep up with the Stalker so he doesn't do more shenanigans.
Nice to snipe the Observer of Puck.
Yep.
Again.
And he's able to see, yes, you've gone for a Robo. And from here, Huck's going to put on the pressure a little bit, but I think there's just some fake pressure. He's not actually looking to do damage. But the Immortal count hasn't continued to grow for Huck. I'm a little bit worried if he goes into Archon Immortal that he will not be able to stand up to the Colossus count because the Immortal count is so weak at this point.
It looks like he is going for that Archon Immortal, though. Templar Archive is on the way now.
Yep. Blink is almost finished, so we will be able to catch this one Stalker.
I guess it's just an extremely delayed Colossi tech from Huck.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay. And Blink Stalkers will be able to defend against this Warp Prism up here. Huck trying to put pressure on, but it's not really going to work out as Blink Stalkers are right there, and a Photon Cannon to help things out. A single Stalker will go down, but that's about it. And Huck mobilizing out in the front, maybe trying to get a couple of kills on third base. There is a single Colossus out, but there's a double Time Warp out here for Huck. This is a great position for Huck to actually deny this third. and do some damage.
He might just
my
time
goodness.
warp the ramp once and then take out the Nexus and recall.
I think he's going to.
Or
time
he can
warp.
even force field.
Well, he's going for the
he doesn't
force
even
field.
need a time warp. He can just recall now.
Beautiful.
Sure, he lost 2 immortals. 1 immortal.
Beautiful. And that's a great way to come back into the game. Holy moly, that was so good.
It was. It's not that enormous of a lead even so, because his own Nexus is only halfway done in his third base now.
Well, he equalizes, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what he basically says. Okay, let's reset economies. You have an income advantage. It would have been nice if he was able to kill a couple probes, but still, he's in a great position right now to at least play from an even footing, and that's all he really needed. Again, a Phoenix Scout coming in here, seeing the Colossus count, sees this all the way up at 2. There is a double production of Robo for
both of them actually.
Oh, for both? Oh yeah, you're right.
So these stalkers might get that mothership core and then get out.
That'll be good. And he gets it. Huck, wow. That was calculated.
It was.
But the units tab. Okay, so we were saying more Colossus, you win. But that's not the case for last game.
No, usually it's not more Colossus you win just because both players will usually have about the same Colossus count.
It's more about
based on
position.
Position and the other composition, like how many Immortals and Archons and stuff you have. Mostly positioning though.
And how many Zealots you have.
Yes.
We can say that.
That's my pet peeve about PvP is super like...
Well, I think we've gone over
slots.
this. Like, Zealots are the worst unit to make in every single matchup.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want them for any matchups.
They're incredibly good to reinforce against Terran players and PvP.
Yeah.
But initially, in the engagement, they're not as strong.
Yeah, for the main engagement, they're not good.
Yeah.
But for harassing, they're fine. And as you're working up to the compositions that you need, they're fine. But if Zealots are incorporated in your super end game composition, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because they're trapped. Same thing with Stalkers. They're bad units too.
They can be okay against Terran, but not so much in PvP.
That's
well, PvT you want them sometimes late game just to deal with Vikings, you know?
Yes.
You want about 8 or so you can one-shot Vikings. But in PvP, kind of useless because there's not much you can one-shot with them.
No, there is not. Colossus just being churned out for both players. As you can see, 7 out for Puck, 3 out for Huck. But they're popping out slowly but surely. As you can see, Immortal count very similar, 3 and 3. And of course the Archon counts are up. But, I mean, this is like Wings of Liberty-esque, right? Like, this is what we used to see always, every single game for PvPs.
Yeah.
Back then. And there's been a lot of changes, and people still have very playable styles. I mean, this is certainly playable for both these players.
Definitely.
It's, as you said, just stylistic based on regions, as you've seen.
I like how Huck decides to take that earlier 4th base than Puck. Because Puck isn't being too aggressive. So I think Huck just realizes that Puck is not aggressive of a PvP player. Because the other game he did this too, even when he was kind of behind.
Mm-hmm. That's how Huck was able to come back against Puck too. Because of Puck's like inactivity. And then he chose to be active at the wrong time, I feel. So just getting into like just a tough series of events. Puck now finally driving through, and he has a lot more Colossus than his opponent, 8 to 5. The positions favor, I would say.
Huck has a couple more Immortals in the fight.
Well, the positioning of Huck isn't that great. I mean, he's all the way over here. He wants to be taking a much wider angle against a lot of Colossus. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. 200, 200, but there's a lot of Zealots. Let's take a look.
But
17 to
Zealots.
All right, but this very narrow choke. Oh, nice time warps, though, by Huck. Slowing the Colossus from actually getting to the engagement. It's going to help out quite a bit, but there's just too much. There's an overmatch on the bottom side, overmatch on the top side. There's just too many Colossus. Now more Zealots are streaming in. Puck is going to be able to take out Huck's army here. And we're going to see it sent over to a Game 3. As I don't think Huck can come back into this. There's just too many lasers.
Too many lasers.
The laser fight will go in the favor of Puck. And well, that's going to be it. 4th base dying. GG.